I'm Dani. This is Atta. We're two Kiwis who, after 5 years living in London, bought a sailboat called Bacchus and set off on an adventure to sail home to New Zealand. We sailed the south coast of England, the Atlantic coast of France, Spain and Portugal, the Canary Islands, and then all 19 days across the Atlantic Ocean to the paradise of Barbados. We spent 6 months exploring some of the beautiful islands in the Caribbean, got a little waylaid by a global pandemic, and are now continuing our voyage home. Follow us on our adventure.
In our previous episode, we successfully manoeuvred Bacchus through her first two Moses Pass and dropped the hook in the jaw-droppingly beautiful atoll of Fakarava. We could not wait to get ashore and start exploring. We've just rowed Waka Waka ashore on Fakarava, and we've brought our little folding bikes with us, which we haven't had out for a long time. So we're going to unfold them, see how rusty and seized they are, pump up probably 4 flat tyres, do any other repairs that they need, and then we're going to go for a little bike ride. The wind's not too strong today, but it's meant to pick up in a few days, so I think today is probably the day to go bike riding.
It's just so beautiful here.
Too pretty, eh?
I'm like, we need to take a photo.
Or a video. Get the camera, vlog it. Fakarava, Dani.
Honestly, this is literally the most beautiful place I've ever been in my entire life. We've just been cycling around the atoll, just come back up, there's Bee sitting beautifully in the blue water, and it's just stunning. I can't even describe it. We've definitely left the best to last, I think.
It really is paradise, eh?
Yeah.
What a gorgeous place.
Yeah. The colours, the flowers, coconut palms everywhere. Yeah, it's like a dream.
We're underway, heading down to the south end of Fakarava to find somewhere to get out of this wind. It's blowing a bit now, so we're just motor sailing, and it would be quite nice sailing in here, except there's bloody hazards everywhere. There's these coral bommies and these little shallow patches, and then there's these pearl farm buoys all over the place. So there's a lot to dodge. So we've been sort of weaving and dodging our way down the side of the atoll. We're about halfway there now, another couple of miles to go. This is a pretty little anchorage. We've still got quite a bit of wind blowing, but we've only got one other boat here with us, and the holding seems good. There's not too many coral heads around. It's just so gorgeous. The colour of the water just takes your breath away. It's beautiful.
What's for breakfast?
This is a Marquesan pamplemousse. And they call it a pamplemousse, and it's meant to be a grapefruit, but it's so sweet. It might as well be like an orange, a lemony orange. They're delicious.
Very juicy, aren't they?
So juicy. And they're massive. And they seem to keep forever. Although this sadly is the last of our supply of Marquesan pamplemousse.
Yeah, we're going to have to find some more somehow. I'm sure they have them in societies.
Hope so.
And what are we up to today?
Well, we're going to go ashore and do some snorkeling. It's a gorgeous blue sandy beach in there, and yeah, I think we'll hang out here on this beach for a bit today. We might head further south down to the other end of Fakarava later on, but yeah, a bit of a beach day I think.
Cool. walking over to the outside of the atoll really makes you appreciate how safe and flat the lagoon is, and how lucky we are to be able to anchor inside. Hello!
Hello.
Look at these cool sharks.
What have you got?
You come down here.
Nice. Ooh.
Come on.
Okay.
And I got
Oh, nice.
and a star.
Yeah. Choice.
Thanks. Good collection. We're back sailing again. We are off to the very southeast corner of Fakarava, which is supposed to be quite a good windsurfing and kite surfing area, but hopefully we'll get away from most of the swell down there, seeing as that's where the wind's coming from. And yeah, we'll just check out the bottom of the island and look at what the diving scene's like down there, and maybe go for a dive with the sharks. So it's another beautiful sunny day, but windy, on the nose, so we're beating our way down, but it's beautiful.
They say cruisers never go to windward. I can see why. Feels a bit like hard work sometimes. We've got the donkey pushing us along as well, which helps. So on Bacchus, in our little Bacchus notebook, we keep a list of our best ever anchorages. And an anchorage has to be pretty good to go on that list. It's got to be sheltered, it's got to have good holding, it's got to be scenic, it can't be rolly, it's got to be somewhere beautiful. And I think that this spot, which is called Harifa at the bottom end of Fakarava, I think it might go on the list. This is so nice. We had quite a lot of wind as we sailed down here, about 21, 22 knots, and now that we're tucked in here, the sea is so flat and the wind is just a gentle breeze coming over the coconut palms, and we've got some kite surfers that we can see. It's just beautiful. Look at this. So yeah, I think the spot might go on the list.
She's off for a sail in P. It's having to use the rudder as an engine to get out into the wind because we're so protected here on the beach. There's some wind.
Lost the drone. We were flying it while I was sailing P Waka Waka, and Dani lost the signal, and we think it's gone in the water. We're pretty gutted.
I'm so sad. I don't know what to do. I'm so gutted. It was such a good drone, but I lost the signal, or the wind took it up, or something happened, and then all of a sudden I didn't know where it was, and it said it was trying to land, and I thought I'd cancelled the landing, but I don't know. We're trying to find it. It says its last signal was over there, but I don't think it swims.
Nah, I don't think it swims very well. So there we go, scratch one drone. Only poor Dani, she's so gutted about that drone. put on our snorkeling gear and gone diving for the body. See if we can give him a proper burial. But that's what happens with drones. They have a dangerous existence. I think a gust of wind just must have got it and thrown it into the sea. She was flying quite close to the sea while she was filming me in the dinghy. Don't believe it. She's just found the drone. I've just watched her come up from a dive, holding a drone in her hand. Yeah.
Hopefully we can try it.
You never know. He might live.
Maybe he'll live. Time in a big bonfire.
Oh, well done.
I'm ready to give up too. I was thinking, this is stupid. It's great. The bottom is great.
Oh, so he landed in the drink. Poor Droney.
Droney.
There he is.
Swim.
He can't swim.
No, he can't.
Right, let's get him back to the boat quickly then.
So sorry. Droney.
Oh, Droney. Hey, going for swims. You shouldn't do that. Drone. Emergency surgery on the drone. Just trying to get all the salt out of him.
We just gave it a freshwater bath and it's just doing some spraying now. And then our plan is to try and dry him out with the dehumidifier, maybe a big bowl of rice.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe we can bring him back to life.
Who knows? Worth a try.
We didn't let the drowned drone ruin our time in Harifa, so joined some cruiser friends on the beach for some sunset cub, followed by a beach fish barbecue, where we decided to make our own plates out of flags. There's a bit of excitement and a bit of nervousness on Bacchus this morning. We're shortly going to get picked up by a dive boat and head off to the South Pass for a drift dive. And we hear there are quite a lot of sharks in the pass that all just kind of hover around in the middle waiting for food to come in and out.
Hopefully that's not us.
We're going to stick to the sides, I think, and try and not be the shark food. So we're excited. We haven't been diving since Bonaire.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly a little bit nervous, both about the sharks and it's quite a deep dive and it's a drift dive, so it's pushing outside of my limits a little bit.
Yeah, I mean this is why people come to Fakarava for this South Pass dive. It's really famous, and I'm just really excited to go and check it out.
So hopefully we can get some footage while we're down there.
We're just heading off in the dive boat now down towards the South Pass. Nice day for us.
Yeah.
fantastic afternoon. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
That was the best diving that I've ever done. Not that I've done that much, but that was so cool. That first dive with all those sharks. Wow.
There was a section like through a coral garden that had so much current. You were sort of like you were going through a water like a water slide. You know, you were going so fast, and you just had to kind of weave and dodge around all the different corals, and there was fish everywhere. It was awesome. It was like a ride.
It was fantastic. Just really brilliant.
Yeah, we're buzzing.
Yeah. Super cool.
That was the best money I think we've spent in a long time. Just the most incredible diving experience. Just the drift diving itself is such a cool thing to do. You're like on a conveyor belt, so you don't even have to swim and you just move along, watch all the fish in the coral. But the sharks were something else, like hundreds of sharks. Everywhere, above you, next to you, and we hid in this like little cave with a little roof on it, so our bubbles got caught up there because the sharks don't really like the bubbles, so the bubbles weren't coming out, and so the sharks would come in nice and close and they'd just swim right past your face. Very cool.
Fantastic. Cheers.
Cheers. What are we doing?
This is our little drone. He went swimming yesterday and he spent about half an hour under the sea in about 4 meters of water, and Dani found him while she was snorkeling, and we've given him a freshwater bath, and we took the battery out and we cleaned it all in fresh water, and now we've dried him with the dehumidifier. We got no idea if he's going to work. The engines feel a little bit stiff, and there was a little bit of corrosion on the battery terminals that I've cleaned off, but we're going to put a fresh battery in and let's see if he turns on. Fingers crossed.
Moment of truth. Batteries in.
Ooh, it's a good noise. He might work. Now I better turn the remote on. I didn't even think that he would turn on.
Okay.
Let's see if he talks to the remote. Oh man, imagine if he still flies. I'm still not getting my hopes up, but... Okay, he's connected to the remote.
We don't try and fly him inside.
No, we'll take him outside. Camera seems to be working. Gimbal's working. Oh man. This will be truly incredible if he flies.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness! Tony!
Rhodey, he flies!
Woohoo! Oh my goodness! He's alive!
He's alive, Dani.
Put him back from the dead.
He didn't die.
Does the camera work? Can you turn the camera on?
Yep, it's working.
Oh my god. Okay, I think you should bring him back. That's enough for today.
He still works.
Oh my goodness.
Go Droney. What a little champion.
Oh wow.
That's pretty amazing. He was underwater for
Half an hour.
In 4 meters of salt water. And he's definitely not waterproof. And he works.
Wow.
He flies.
So Droney lives to fly another day. He's not quite operating at the same quality as before, but kudos to DJI for building such a strong piece of kit. We stayed in Fakarava much longer than we anticipated. We couldn't bring ourselves to leave this paradise. Join us on our next episode where we have a kite surfing lesson, snorkel the North and South Pass, and finally make a move to check out some of the other atolls in the Tuamotus. If you're keen to support us, take a look at our Patreon page.